Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunshine in the Kitchen. Thanks so much for joining me today. So I'm going to be making a fresh pot of delicious beef stew on this cold, gloomy day. These are just some of the ingredients that I will be using. I have some celery, carrots, 3/4 of a yellow onion, some frozen green peas, and some red potatoes. Alrighty, so I'm going to start slicing up all of my vegetables. For now, I have 5 carrots, and I also have 8 stalks of celery sticks. I'm just kind of eyeballing it as I go with beef stew. I haven't come out with the exact measurements yet. I just, whenever I make it, I throw a little bit of this, a little bit of that. If I look around and stir the stew and feel it's like it needs a little bit more carrots, then I'll add more carrots, or with any of the other vegetables. With all of my vegetables, I'm just chopping them up in the sizes that I would like to eat them in the stew. You want them to be a good chunky size, not too big, not too small, and just to your preference of bite-sized pieces. So I decided to add 2 more carrots to all of the rest of my chopped veggies, and I'm just going to set that aside for now. Right here I have about a pound of chuck beef. This is the perfect meat for stews. You could either get it in a big chunk and you could slice it up yourself. This one was already prepackaged in slices for me. However, I don't want my bite-sized pieces to be as big as some of the ones that are in here, so I'm just going to run through and cut it up a little bit more to my liking. Okay, so I have all my bite-sized pieces of the chuck beef right here. I'm just going to season this with some salt and some pepper. I would say I used about a tablespoon of salt, and I used probably about a half tablespoon of pepper. I just wanted to brag on how cute these measuring cups are. They were one of my gifts that I got from my mom for Christmas, and they're rose gold, and they are just stunning. I am absolutely in love. So I'm just going to add this flour all over to the beef. I'm going to add half first, and I'm going to mix it around, and then I'm going to add the next half. When you add the flour to the meat, it allows the beef stew to actually become stew. If you didn't do the flour, it would just be a soup and not that nice thick texture that we all know and love. So I'm going to mix this around. I'm going to add a little bit more. Make sure every beef is nice and coated evenly. Alrighty folks, so I have my Dutch oven here, and when I say this is a beauty, boy is this thing a beauty, and I love it. It is perfect for making big stews or soups. It's also perfect for browning meat. You can brown whatever meat you're going to use in here, and if you want to add your broth or whatever and pop it in the oven, it could cook a beautiful sear and amazing taste on top of the stove, but it could do a longer cook in the oven as well. So it is a very amazing, versatile pot. I got this from the Martha Stewart collection, actually on sale. I don't quite remember what I paid for it, but I remember it was a steal around Christmas time, and I just had to have it, and it's just one of my favorite pieces in my collection. So I have my pot at a medium heat. I'm just going to do about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the pot. You do not want to add all of your meat to the pan, because even though all the meat could fit inside of your pot, when you don't allow space in between each meat, it makes the meat steam and get kind of a gray color instead of that nice crusty, crispy brown color. So you could add it in a half portion, or if you need to, do 3 portions. I'm just going to start with about half for now. And like I said, make sure you could see spaces in between the meat so it doesn't steam. You're going to want to break all of your meat up and do one single layer. Okay, so I just removed all of my meat from the pan. There's tons of flavorful little brown bits stuck to the bottom. I'm just gonna use some butter to deglaze it a little bit. I'm also just gonna use about a little less than a half tablespoon of olive oil just so the butter won't burn. I'm gonna just scrape the bottom of the pan a little bit to loosen up some of those delicious flavorful brown bits. Next, I'm going to carefully add all of my veggies to the pan. We're just going to move that around a little bit. To the veggies, you're going to want to season them because they're very bland just on their own. So I added a tablespoon of salt. I'm going to do about a half tablespoon of some freshly ground up black pepper. We are also going to be doing a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Italian seasoning has oregano, thyme, rosemary, sage, and so it really does most of the seasoning for you in one little bottle, which I love. So you're just going to want to give all your veggies a stir in this delicious seasoning. You're also going to want to use a half tablespoon of some paprika. I changed my mind. A full tablespoon. We're doing it. We're going there. That looks fantastic. Look at that beautiful color. That looks amazing. Now we're just going to give that a stir. Next, you're going to add 3 cloves of some garlic. You want to make sure you do this at the end. After you have let all these veggies sweat for about 5 minutes, just because you don't want the garlic to burn. Now you're going to stir all that in and let it cook for about 1 minute just so the garlic can infuse in all of the veggies. Once your beef stew comes up to a bubble, you're going to give one last little mix around. You're going to turn the flame off and put a lid on. You are then going to transfer your Dutch oven to a preheated 350-degree oven for about 2 hours to 2.5 hours. And then your delicious pot of stew will be ready. Alrighty, see you then. Alrighty, so you're going to add about 1 cup of some frozen peas to your beef stew. And look at the final product. The sauce just looks so nice and thick, kind of like a gravy. It's packed with flavors from the Italian seasoning and all the other herbs and delicious ingredients that we used. Well, time for me to indulge in this delicious, comforting dinner. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me make this delicious beef stew. And if you try this recipe out, make sure to let me know down below in the comments how you enjoyed it. Alrighty, until next time, God bless from my kitchen to yours. Bye!